Hi everyone, welcome to a short video to discuss assignment 3 for EDU70008. So for this assignment, you're focusing in on theme 3, which is the content covered in weeks 8 to 11. And this covers the range of topics in health and also has a focus on unit planning. This material is assessed by assignment 3, a presentation of a unit of work. Okay, so what do you need to do for this task? So part 1 of the task asks you to produce a unit of work outline. So you are required to develop an outline for a unit of work focused upon an aspect of health and well-being that is taught in primary school. This unit of work must explicitly address a content area within the personal, social and community health strand of the Australian curriculum, health and PE, and must incorporate an overview of the purpose of the unit, a summary of the individual lessons within the unit, a description about how ICT will be used within the unit, an explanation of the selected assessment strategies, and also a description of how a safe and challenging learning environment will be maintained. The unit of work can be one that is introduced within the unit or one that you have adapted from your practicum placements. You can, and we encourage you to communicate with your ELA about your chosen format. So using the information there as a guide to get you started. We understand that many of you will be doing a unit plan for the first time. So please make sure you use the discussion boards to ask lots of questions and guidance. So starting your unit, you need to choose a year level. Select an appropriate pedagogy. So this is really building on all the material that you have been learning throughout the unit, and choose the curriculum content. So curriculum is what we teach, the pedagogy is how we teach it. So we've asked you to specifically focus here on the personal, social and community health strand, and they are sort of the topics that you can choose below that. So explore that part of the curriculum. All right, so developing your unit plan. You need to have an overview of the purpose of the unit, a summary of the individual lessons within the unit, a description about how ICT will be used within the unit, an explanation of the selected assessment strategies, a description of how a safe and challenging learning environment will be maintained. Okay, so the content descriptors, the learning objectives, the year levels and the strand. There are some helpful guides on the student portal that will be able to help you learn how to cite the Australian curriculum, but it is really your opportunity to demonstrate a knowledge of the curriculum document. So you need to briefly outline key focus, include your pedagogy. So there would be a minimum of 3 lessons is what your unit plan would be working towards, and you need to include academic references. There is an interactive lesson plan template which has a lesson rationale, which can have some relevance to a unit rationale. So use that as a guide, again, one in the student portal to help you. Okay, so an important thing here is to remember that you need to have at least 3 brief bullet points. So an example would be immersive exploration of food advertising. This would be for your lesson summaries. So the immersive exploration of food advertising using video, print or web. Think, pair, share. Who is the target audience? Collate responses via a class Padlet. Class discussion reflecting on what individuals and society. So you want to make sure that your ICT use is meaningful, innovative and clear. And you can look into week 10 or the section of module week 10 on the in the Canvas platform to help you with some information there. There's a great essential reading that we strongly encourage you to read. Okay, assessment strategy. So when you're trying to decide on an effective assessment strategy, make sure you are linked to the goals, the learning objectives. They're innovative, varied, and they're based in research. So using your research to inform what sort of assessment strategies you choose to use. you need to make sure that your learning environment is safe and challenging, both physically and mentally, and is able to be applied to diverse learners. So these are some of the key themes that you've been learning about throughout the unit, and now is an opportunity for you to demonstrate your knowledge. Okay, so you can see in the week 3 reading materials in both of the texts, there are examples of unit plan templates that you could use as you begin this. So make use of the reading materials there to help you. There's an example unit plan that you might be familiar with if you've been out on a practical placement. And again, here you'll be able to use the little images placed on the template to help guide. Here you can see that we have provided you with some little tips for links to the rubric. So you need to make sure you have well-developed strategies for setting up safe and challenging learning environments and incorporating ICT are integrated into the unit. The unit of work illustrates engaging practice of health. The assessment strategies are clearly linked to unit goals. You have demonstrated the understanding of the personal, social and community health strand of the Australian curriculum, ensuring that the activities that you choose are age appropriate. That you need to make sure that you have some links between Australian curriculum content, the contemporary theories, models and perspectives of health teaching. So again, using the content material presented to you from weeks 8 to 11 to inform your way of teaching would be the ideal start there. You need to have, as mentioned a little bit earlier, sophisticated strategies for ICT usage and the safe and challenging learning environments. You need to demonstrate insight into the practical application of the pedagogical approaches through comprehensive links between relevant Australian curriculum. Your ideas need to be innovative and creative, so trying to think of something that the children would enjoy doing. There needs to be rigorous and thorough links between theory and practice. Okay, so that's part 1 of this assignment, which is your unit learning plan. So I'll just go down now to part 2 of the assessment task, which is your presentation. All right, so part 2, which is the presentation, it's a 3-minute video, and what you need to do here is you need to make sure that you are putting yourself in the position of a teacher presenting a unit of work to the principal. So you might need to do this as a professional teacher when you might be talking to the principal or another learning coordinator about why you're teaching something a certain way. So this allows you the opportunity to pretend that you are going to teach this unit of work within a school setting. So your presentation must include an introduction that provides an overview of the content of the health strand of the curriculum and states which threads the presentation will focus upon. You need to explain your rationale, and this will explain the purpose of the unit and its pedagogical underpinnings, including how ICT is integrated within the unit. You need to have an analysis of the designated assessment strategies that explains their features, benefits, limitations, and implementation constraints. You need an evaluation of the way the learning environment has been set up to be safe and challenging, and you also need to have a conclusion that sums up the content of the presentation. Your presentation must be framed by relevant theory and academic literature. All resources referred to in your presentation must include a separate reference list document, appropriately formatted in APA style. This reference list will not be included within the word count. Now, in addition to the content of your presentation, you will also be assessed on the quality of your presentation. So we're not after Academy Award-winning performances. However, we are looking to see that you are able to play the role of a professional educator addressing the principal. So, presenting yourself with a level of professionalism to address the needs of your audience. You need to have a clear speaking voice, use of supporting resources, and visual presentations. Okay. All right. So the technical notes. You'll notice that in the assignment instructions there are lots of helpful hints on how to go about producing your video. A program that I quite often use is Screencast-O-Matic, and I find that to be quite helpful. All right. Okay, things to include in your presentation. So the introduction, you need to make sure you state the pedagogy, the purpose of your unit, the ICT used, an analysis of assessment strategies, including the strengths and limitations, evaluation of safe and challenging learning environment, and also a take-home message. Don't forget to speak slowly and clearly, use props and resources, use posters in the background, clear audio and lighting, and state citations verbally or use subtitles. You need to make sure that your ELA can view your video. So you need to log into YouTube and open Video Manager, and here are some instructions on how to do that. Next to your video, choose Edit and select Public or Unlisted, and then copy and paste your URL into a Word document. So we'll give you some more hints and tips in regards to submission as time goes on. All right, now make sure you use the rubric to guide you through your whole assignment. So you can see there that we begin at the past section and move right up to the distinction category or high distinction category. And submission details, so please make sure that you submit via Turnitin on the due date, as this is vitally important towards the end of the teaching period. Okay, here's a little page outlining clearly how we expect to see the submission in the submission inbox. So you can have an APA title page, which is optional. There is a unit plan. Then you have your presentation, which you'll insert the YouTube link. You do not need to submit a transcript with that. References, you only one reference list for both tasks, so you don't need a separate reference list for your unit plan and the presentation. And then appendices. Only if it helps to explain your unit plan. You do not have to include appendices in this assignment. You need to make sure your font is size 12 double spacing. There needs to, the introduction and conclusion to your folio are not required. You need to ensure that you're citing credible academic resources throughout your writing. And there is some more help on formatting in the student portal for you. Now, don't forget that there are lots of ways you can get help to complete your assignment. You have your ELA, you have your peers, there is the discussion board, there are some student coaches if you feel you need help with your studying, and there's also Studiosity, which will be able to provide feedback on a draft for you. And then important, please continue to check your Canvas and student email after you submit the task. As this is the way we'll be reaching out to you if we have any problems accessing your YouTube link. And during week 9, we will be holding our live Collaborate session. So we look forward to chatting through the unit plan task with you at that session. Thanks, everyone. Bye.